Very importantly, couple of steps I would like to add up here just to build up the mood to have the discussion and to have this session, that this Radius ERP has got completely new revamped UI design. The most important thing that a couple of people have given even the feedback that these designs may not look good or may not look awesome, but the fact is that there is a new design criteria and a new design concept are available in market, which is known as fluid design, what we call it as a fluid design. So this is a completely fluid design based system, which of course Microsoft and Oracle both have already adopted the last year. Last year means almost 8 months back. So we have adopted now. It would look like to have a kind of a system here. If you will start looking into the system, then on the left side you will find all the menu panel. On the screen you will find the complete desktop menu item, just like Microsoft Dynamics and Microsoft other products look like also. So the entire system has been completely revamped in terms of UI, user interface, nothing else. And we have also come up with a couple of additional features and the patches. Now Radius ERP is fully supporting to the education industry, and it is default supported and the specialized industry vertical also available for non-profit organization. Non-profit organization would be majorly involved into non-profit activities like social skill enhancement, agricultures and all that. These will, Radius ERP will also be considering those business domains, and it is fully compatible and suitable for those environments. Well, if you see from the panel, from the UI perspective, I would show you that you will have the first thing comes up first, that if you would like to change the design, that means if you would like to change the available icons, all will be available for you. The second factor, that each and every user will have got their definitely user roles, and according to their user roles and the rights only, all the features are going to be available. Of course, this is not a complete product demonstration. Product demonstration, I mean to say that a customer demonstration, so that I will have to go inside and tell you that how the sales invoice can be raised and how a journal entry can be made, because each and every one is already aware about that, because all of you are from this ERP industry itself. But of course, I am going to provide a full overview of this capability of Radius ERP in this session, which you will be able to look for. So the very first thing what I am going to start with is the setup. How does the setup works, and what are the features we have additionally added into the setup? So you have the complete system settings, where you will be able to set up your LDAP domain so that it will be integrated with your Active Directory, with the domain setting. With the global settings, you are going to see the entire company detail and the information, what are the fiscal years we are going to use, that all these features is going to be available. And the another special features what we have added here, which is my SMS. So in last week when I was in Ghana, I was also explaining all about that the ERP system will be able to provide you the complete SMS based integration, so that users and everybody can get alert and all the time. We have got separated the workflow engine, so that you will be able to define all the workflows, whatever workflow you require for each and every module. Most of the time, each and every partner or each and every customer also feels the problem about the designing a new form or customizing the existing ERP system. So if you will see into the system, Then we have got an intuitive customization available for the partners and for the administrators. So if you want to add a custom field, you would be able to add the custom field. So it will be adding into custom field entity. You want to customize a form, you will be visually be able to customize a form, whatever form type you want to do for whichever module. For an example, I want to create a specific form for the purchase invoice, and I will be able to do all the features whatever I require. So these are just the basic features what I have just shown you, which will be available in the new version. Now if you will see, then we have additionally added 2 more languages into translation also, and if some of the language which is not available, we have got the language master and we can customize the complete translation. So most of the time what happens that couple of countries and the localizations require a specific translation. This I have not uploaded the Arabic language and all that, but you will be having we already have got Arabic language pack. We have of course English by default. We are coming up the specific language pack for India especially. I have the ready-made pack available for French. So these 4 language packs are available, and based on the requirement, anytime, any moment, custom translation can be added for any particular person or for any particular customers. Now for the printing format, you have got the complete report designer here. So sorry, you will be having the report design management there, where you will be able to do the complete reports. Then data import export, which is one of the key features required, because every customer will be asking you to import or to migrate their older data if they are using any system, or even if they are using pen and paper, then also they will be required to migrate and import the data. So including transactional data, of course I understand that master data no need to be named here, because we know that master data is the default thing. So even the transactional data on the second level information I'm telling, you will be able to import or export from the system. So data importing, exporting, there is no problem about that. You have got the complete user role security as like in Microsoft Dynamics you find, and then you will be here able to set up the permission for all the users. Each and every form and report label and object label security will be available there. You want to hide and show any particular module based on the users, that also you will be able to do. So everything you will be able to find up here. What we are trying to do right now, that we are trying to add as much as possible documented information inside the help system itself. So we are trying to build more robust help management system, so that for each and every option you will be able to get the online help itself. Now coming back to the account section, which is the first and foremost module, which is this finance. In the finance, if you will be able to see, then you have the chart of accounts, the complete general ledgers, all your journal entry definitions, what you want to do, your company's information, of course the company information, which that what are the company can have the details like their currency, their language, each and everything, your default payable account, that means the GL mapping. So all those mapping you will be able to do it here directly. So once you have done the mapping, entire transaction will be directly going to particular section itself. The mapping can be done for stocks, mapping can be done for fixed asset, everything you will be able to manage inside the system directly. One very important thing, that my system navigation will be a bit weird today, because the problem with me is that I am not having mouse today, so I'm just using a normal laptop. So in this case you may find that I am not able to navigate the system properly. That is something different, that's not a problem. So you have got the account, sir, where inside the master you will have got the vendor master and the customer master and even the item master. One very important thing that a lot of people ask, that why the customer masters, vendor masters are to be given inside the accounts itself. But the fact is that this is available inside your selling, that means in your sales module, in your procurement module, in your stock module as well. But this we have added purposefully here also, so that sometime even our finance team requires to do any kind of changes, or finance team would like to manage these information or manage these data, they can also manage it. However, based on the customer's requirement and understanding, if we want, we can move it out from here or we can attach it here based on our requirement. Now, you have got the complete bank payment and bank details. The very important thing that most of the ERP system specifically misses, or you can say that it lacks the feature of letter of credit and letter of guarantee, which we call it LG and LC. In some country LG is available, in some country LC, in some countries you will get both of them, like in India LG and LC both are available. So we have got the LG and LC facility here, so we can set up this letter of credit and letter of guarantee both. So you can see here that you have got the bank guarantee information. So all the bank guarantee masters and bank guarantee information can be defined here. Then the budget management, we have got the budget and cost center management. So budgets are basically implicating the stock, inventory, project and the finance, all three. So these budgets are just not only for the financial budget, but this budget can even help you managing your projects also pretty well. What are the major setup things are there you want to see there? Just give me a second, just be online. Mr. Dilip, I am in a conference call. Can I call you after 1 hour, sir? Yeah, that would be great. Thanks. Yeah, so I was telling that if any of you have got any kind of query, you can ask right away. There is no problem in waiting on that. Okay.
Ahmed, your voice went off in
Yeah,
between.
I had a drop of network for a couple of seconds, but now I am back. So what I was saying that I would like to have this. I believe that you people already got the budget and cost center details, and especially I am ending up here in the session that if any of you have got any kind of query or doubts or questions, please you can ask right away. Let's not make it just a one-way communication or presentation. Let's make it multi-way or two-way communication. So if you have any query, you can just ask on the spot. Okay, so inside the setup, if you will see, then you have got the complete account setting, which where you will be able to set up the financial dimensions and all that. Then you have got the currency management. With the international people, all the time, currency exchange is always an issue. So, because the currency exchange is, directly impacting the currency evaluation and the, financials of a company. So, in the currency exchange system, you will have this automatic integration with the world's two major currency valuation service provider, which is XC currency and Wanda. And if any third party currency service provider, some company or some of your customers are using, we can provide the direct integration with that also. So what happens that in case if any customer wants to have the currency exchange system to be working on the live currency rates, you can do that as well. However, most of the customers you will find that they require the currency evaluation or currency exchange to be done manually. So they, on a monthly basis or on a weekly or fortnightly basis, they might want to update the exchange rates and then finally do the transaction so that their evaluation can be done properly. But if somebody wants live, we can provide the live. A lot of customers have got even the specific query. Earlier we were getting such kind of request that they wanted to have the live integration with the payment gateway, because most of the time what happens that none of the ERP by default, if you will try to see in the market, then even Microsoft Dynamics 365 as well, it does not provide the live integration or the default integration with multiple payment gateways. So what happens that if some company has got a business which involves receiving the payment online, and if their customers, your customers are trying to make the payment using online system, you will have to manually import those transactional details and get into the ERP system. But Radius ERP supports integration of payment gateway, and then you can directly integrate the payment gateway account where you can simply connect it and start using it. So if any customer of your customer is going to make a payment online, system recognizes directly, it retrieves the information, and it saves your customer's time of not doing any manual transaction and the data import for that. Point of sale, I would not take you through there. Of course, we have got the retail channel, but we have got the separate retail system as well. However, we are adding up a point of sale, that means retail system inside Radius ERP itself. But that will take time, because it's an strategical decision that just like other standard ERP system, world known or Gartner certified ERP systems like Microsoft Dynamics and all, they have got a specific module for retail. So that is why we are still keeping the retail module separate. We are not keeping the retail module inside that. Of course, mode of payment is already understood, and C forms is the one which is used in India, but in couple of countries separate forms are used. So based on the country's local specification and the requirement, those specific forms, like for exporting you need other types of form, export form or IGT form, all those forms can be added based on the customer's requirement. We already have got almost 9 countries designs and templates. If your country requires some specific design, we can do that. Analytics are just it's a inbuilt BI. So we have got inbuilt BI tool available inside the system. So we can define it. Right now you are not able to see any graph because the system is completely blank, but all those graphs and the pie charts will be available directly over here, which can be customized based on the customer requirement, and we can add as much as possible. There are a lot of reports available that you can see the trial balance, profitability analysis and all that, AP summary, AR summary. And of course, why we have not kept much considerations on the reporting side, because
Amarnath, just hold on. I think we are stuck with the screen. Is it from I only have the screen stuck, or everybody else?
I am not now showing other reports.
No, I can see only the account section where the budget and cost center is there.
Yeah, you are correct. It's only the accounts section we are seeing.
Okay,
Yes.
Give me a second. Let me try to again. This type of problem sometimes happens. So give me a second. I can see that this sharing has stopped. So let me again try. How come I'm not able to just get into that? Let me check it further. Yeah, internet is working quite fine. And of course you are able to hear me, but still I'm not able to get it. So do me a favor. I am going back and I will come back again. You people be there. I will I will disconnect and reconnect. Are you able to see my screen now?
It's loading. Okay.
So you should be able to see the analytics and other reports right now, correct?
Yeah. No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there are standard reports available. We are adding as many as reports all the day by day. We will be adding more and more. We have even removed some. In this update, we have removed almost 29 reports altogether, because the fact is that most of the reports are standard report, which none of the customer likes. Of course, anyone does not like that. So every customer requires this customized reports. So instead of we are redoing all these things, better as per the customer requirements only we will be providing all those reports. However, the standard reports are already there. If some customer requires more, we can provide all that. The specific things here that the tools that periodic closing is very important thing, which is again a pain, because with each and every ERP system, at least initial 3 months of the closing support, financial closing support is definitely required, and then also at least for a year, every company or every customer continues to face the problem in doing the closings. But we have got the specific periodic closing vouchers available, where we can define the periodic closing vouchers, and then we can directly do our financial closings. So this way it is going to help. Of course, the tax management, the complete tax management for each and every country we have got. We have got GST, we have got VAT, we have got service tax, and we have got other miscellaneous taxes also available. So and of course, one important tax I forgot to tell you, is the withholding tax. So for taxation, there is no problem. Whatever tax masters are there, we can define the tax masters. So we have got the complete charge templates are also available. So based on each and every items, each and every account, we can set up our charge master. So automatically taxes will be applied based on the tax template. Now, apart from this finance section, the most important thing, the first thing I would like to take you through is this procurement. We would be showing you right now this procurement and sourcing, where you see the cycle starts with the material request, then you have got the RFQ, finally the supplier will provide you the quotations, and then ultimately you will be converting them and going ahead with the purchase order. Of course, each and every transactions are based on the workflow defined by you. Again, taking back to you here inside the setup, which will give you more idea, which I have already informed, that we need to set up all the workflows based on our requirement. Okay, so everything we can set up on as per our requirement, and then those workflows will be applicable everywhere. So if we create a material requisition, what we call sometime, that time also workflow will be activated, and based on the approvals only it will go to the next stage. So this is my purchase cycle. As I told you that time itself, that inside the account department we already have got customers and the vendors and all that, but here again you can see that you have got this suppliers. Why this vendor is twice? But yes, we have kept this vendor as twice, because based this procurement module, they can do it from procurement module. So both ways this is available. Then of course you have got the complete item a very important thing that inside the item, we have got items, we have got the item bundling, which we call a combination of item or item packaging. You have got the price list based on the region, based on the period, based on the salesperson, based on the vendor group. All that conditions can be applied there. Of course, you have got this item price, then your pricing rules that on which particular season, on which particular date, what kind of pricing rules, then markup you want to add up, that you can do it. Of course, you have got
I think Amarnath, you are having some internet issue.
Again, you are not able to see me?
Amarnath, your voice is, we are not able to hear you properly.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, now it's okay.
So sometimes there are intermittent issues. I'm so sorry for that. So I was talking about this items and its pricing. So whatever the customer's requirement may have, because most of the time customer asks for like Fred and Andy, if you remember, you were talking about the item markup,
Yeah,
price.
sometime middle of some session. Okay, so I'll give you a call. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all that are added over here. So those things can be managed from particular item and item pricing section. Then you have got the supplier scorecard. Scorecard is nothing, but the scorecard is a specific region and specific features to manage your vendors. Those supplier scorecards becomes very much important where the customer's business requirements are critical in terms of their lead time, quality, delivery, feedback, and all that. So supplier scorecard management is just helping all the customers who are into a critical relationship with their suppliers, or their business requires, the critical information to evaluate their supplier all the time. That time it is going to help. For an example, if we take construction industry, then inside the construction industry, once the construction projects are going on, we always require raw materials to be supplied on our project site. Now the biggest challenge comes up here, that most of the time procurement team and this senior management does not have the better visibility and idea of a particular supplier, that whether the supplier can be the right supplier or right vendor for us to supply our required raw material on time, with quality, no rejection and all that or not. So the supplier scorecard has to be designed. You have got a separate supplier scorecard criteria. We have given some, if you will laugh on me, then yes, we have added nothing much, but all total 500. Actually it is up to 500, but no, it's not 500, it is only 473 what I have in my hand. 473 different criteria to evaluate your supplier. How was the total shipment? How was the total days late? Just for example, total cost of shipment. So you have got a full visibility of your supplier scorecard. You can set up all the variables, you can set up all the masters, and then finally you can see your supplier scorecard, which will be able to show you based on your system, based on your item, based on your material, based on the lead time. Anything you want to know about the supplier, it will help you on that. Now there are a couple of reports, item to be requested. Of course, item to be requested, that means this all comes from your the project requirements. So in all the projects, whoever is assigning tasks or creating WBS and adding additional raw materials requirement, all the items can be shown in this report. Requested item to be ordered, these are those requisitions which are pending for order. So there are several reports available for you, which you can definitely use it. And then after this procurement module, I would like to take you to the sales module. Sales model, almost who knows procurement, then you see the sales as well. Of course, you will have the customer quotations, and then from your quotation, you will be converting them to the sales orders. So quotation to sales orders is there. You have got the complete customer management where you have the customer groups. Specifically, if you want to maintain your customers into multiple groups, like region wise or whatever, like normally in India we create customer group. The main group we always have is this domestic sub vendor and the international vendor, because there are some specific legal requirements which needs to be managed and furnished inside my supplies. So all that customer group can handle you. Then you have the complete customer masters, then the contacts of those customers, because one customer may have multiple contact persons, and then of course their addresses. We have got separate address defines. However, you can create as many as different types of address also. But if you want to see, then we have created billing, shipping, office type address, personal plan, all that. Whatever normally each and every customer may have asked in past, from past 18 years of experience, all that is part of my system, because the system is nothing but totally based on the standard business practice and the historical customer requirement, so that customer may not have any kind of additional query. Very, very importantly, inside the sales, a lot of ERP system actually lacks the salesperson's commissions. Even if you will see, then in Microsoft Dynamics as well, Dynamics AX 2012 R3 edition only came up with the salesperson's incentive. So you can have the salesperson incentive management here also. So if we have managed our sales through different territories, and we have outsourced our sales to other third-party companies, like a couple of pharmaceutical company, they used to have their distributors in different region. So you can manage your territory, your sales partners, your all sales representatives, and all that. So everything can be managed here. If you want to see inside this setup part, then you have got definitely the selling settings. That is settings which we will be talking about each and every information, how you are going to handle and manage. Maintain same rate throughout the sales cycle. This particular information I want to just focus on this particular area. Maintain same rate throughout the sales cycle. And normally what happens, that in some different types of business or the trading requirement, what happens that item rate can be changed even at the time of quotation and at the time of delivery. Both item rates can change. It can be different. But if we want to make sure that our items are going to be sold and shipped only at the rate the rate we have already defined, all that can be done here. You want to see which has always been the pain area of lot of different customers. Allow multiple sales order against customer purchase orders. What happens that sometimes customer may send us a long or a huge purchase order which can contain multiple items, but what we want to do, we want to divide those sales orders against his purchase order into multiple parts. So group by group, if you want to do that, so you can select the items and you can create a sales order against each and every selected items. You can see here in one transaction, you can also do one thing, that you can also select multiple purchase orders and then you can generate one single order. All that can be done here. Then of course, validate selling price per item against purchase rate or evaluation rate. So remember, we have talked about this markups and all that. So that markup is going to help you once we have set up the markup. Then for each and every item, before creating a sales order, first of all, system will go there, check the markup value, check the markup formula, and then come back, and then it will provide you, irrespective of whatever price you want to make it. Of course, terms and conditions, these are things there, of course, which you know. And then you have got small analytics also. So if you want to see sales funnel, like a CRM kind of sales funnel, you will be able to see the sales funnel here. So even it will show you the sales funnel. Sales analytics, if you want to see, it will be showing. Of course, it is a blank because nothing is coming up. So all the charts will be appearing directly here. So we have tried to make as cumbersome and as inclusive as possible. You have got the reports here. You will find the standard reports available in market. Of course, SMS I have already explained you all about. And yeah, we are adding as much as possible the helps and all that. While I have shown you sales, let me just give you a glimpse of the CRM. Lot of customers, they want to invest into the CRM as a separate products. But SME customer, majorly what they want, SME customers ask that instead of spending money into separate CRM product, why can't my ERP system can have a CRM functionality is also available. And that's what Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 had done it, that they had also given one CRM module, small CRM module. What we have done, that we have added the entire CRM module inside the system itself. Of course, regarding the licensing perspective, I am nobody to talk about. I am just talking about the capability of the Radius ERP. So you have got the complete lead opportunity, customers and contacts here. So that sales pipeline, you will be able to handle it properly. All right. And then of course the campaign management, which inside any CRM you would have seen, you have got the campaigns. We can create campaigns, we can generate a lot of leads. We have got the lead sources. Lead source is very, very important thing. This lead source does not only talk about the source of the lead, what we have done it here. Rather, this lead source, it is of course a technical part, but the facility wise or the feature wise, I want to tell you that the lead source can be integrated with your Google account. It can be integrated with Microsoft Outlook account. If you have got a third party lead generation system like MailChimp kind of system, it can also integrate with those types of systems whenever you require that. And you have got the complete sales management. If you see the lead, then now again a couple of things will come up which you might find that okay, it is repetitive, but it is not repetitive, but it is much more easier for us to find out from one module to another module. For an example that I showed you, sales funnel.
Yeah.
You will see the sales funnel here as well. Come again, Mr. Fred.
I'm okay. I just asked Andy a question. He did answer.
Okay. So you will be able to see the sales funnel directly over here, sales pipeline and all that. And this funnel and those pipeline information, these are completely dynamic. So based on what kind of feature rich representation your customers would like to have it, we can provide it. There is no problem for that. These things what we are showing you, like this, for example, this sales funnel, we are showing you the system's capability. Don't think that what this system exactly has. The system has got the capability of having all that. We have put a small examples so that as a partner you can see that okay, how the system is going to help me. So while we were talking about the finance, the next section is very, very important, which is assets, because this is the kind of a flow comes up inside an ERP. So once you have managed your accounts, your customers, your vendors, that means sales and purchase, inventory and stock I will come later on. So for the as a finance team, asset management also comes under the finance portfolio. So here you have got the finance. So yes sir, you will have got the complete asset management. You have got the asset category, you have got asset masters. You will be able to manage all the assets, whatever asset you want. And if you see, then asset acquisition can also be there. So if we have got some asset already available, we can select, and we can select what purchase order was related to a particular asset. You want to employ depreciation, then you can maintain the depreciation here. What depreciation method you want, what is the depreciation schedule. Depreciation schedule is all about, basically this will come up from setup actually, that how do we want to calculate the depreciation. Some of the company, they want depreciation to be calculated on monthly basis, some of them they want on yearly basis, and couple of this customers, what I have found, they have even asked to have the depreciation on daily basis. That also you can do that. And of course, the most important thing, that once we have asset, we should have a complete maintenance also. So yes, you can do the asset maintenance. You can define the asset maintenance team, which will be linked to your worker master or employee master. Then you will have the asset maintenance schedule. Then you will have the log, and then of course the repairing, which is called breakdown. So breakdown, you can also do that. And we have given separately this asset movement, because in a larger industry, most of the time what happens that we may want, and we used to move one particular asset from one location to another location, especially with the project based company, or like you see the construction company, they need to move their assets, their cranes, their other stuffs from one project site to another project site after completion. So you have got the asset movement as well, sir. I would like to take you through inventory part. How does this inventory actually look like? So yes, the most important part, item management. So you have got items, you can have multiple item bundles, price list you gonna define. Of course, 16 sub-label based item grouping you can do, item pricing you have got the shipment rules, you have got even the pricing rules, and then the item variants. For an example, item variant is one of the key feature inside the pharmaceutical industry, because inside the pharmaceutical industry, each and every item will have a composition, and one composition can have multiple items. So item variants are very much important for that purpose. So we have got item variants as well. Item will have the serialization, you can have the batch management, installation node. One of the very important things there. The trading organization or the service industry, where the customers used to sell the bigger items like electronics and consumer products, home goods like washing machines, air conditioners and all that. In that case, what happens? Once we sell the item, of course we need to provide the installation services also, sometimes free of cost. So we can maintain the installation node of the item. Then we have this AMC expiry management, we have got the serial number management, we have got the warranty management. So complete is there. Delivery trip, this is very important part. Delivery trip. Why we have added this delivery trip actually? So this delivery trip, basically what it talks about, this delivery trip talks about my delivery schedule. So in all the trading organization, one important key information which attracts most of the customer is on time and punctual delivery, or we can say in time delivery. So yes, for each and every item what we are willing to sell, what we are trying to sell, we can set up the delivery schedule. Here if you see driver, this driver also will be part of the employee masters, or maybe the contractual also. So we can select the driver, which particular vehicle is going to go there, and what are my delivery stops, because delivery stop is important part, as one particular load or one particular vehicle will not be carrying only one item to be delivered. So one vehicle, one lot or one load will contain more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as per the capacity of load is possible carrying. So the delivery team or delivery management team, they can set up the information that as per my sales order, what are the delivery stops to be done, and then we will be able to provide that, so that customer will be able to get the information that when his item is going to be delivered, because customer will also get automatic email and SMS based alerts and delivery notification. For the sales team, if we want to make it, we can make it, so the delivery notification can also be given. So if you will see, then altogether the system does not only supports the selling activity or inventory or warehouse activity, but even it selects the activities related to shipments, parcels, that means especially for the trading industry, all that it is going to support. Now, coming back to the tools, then we see we have got the stock reconciliation, which is of course the physical counting and all that, packing slip generation, and quality inspection. We were talking about the quality inspection last time when I was in Ghana. So so we can have the quality inspection. So that means QC module, and this QC module, if you see, then this QC is to be defined based on the requirement. This QC will be defining for each and every particular item what is my sample size going to be there, because you know what happens sometimes that we buy 100 gallons of chemical and we want to take some 1 liter for the lab testing. So all that we can define here. The complete QC management, acceptance criteria, reading 1, reading 2, reading 3, what is going to be my parameter, all that can be defined. So the full-fledged QC module is available inside our system. No need to worry about this QC part. That is exclusively important for pharmaceutical or healthcare or even the specific material manufacturing or the construction department also. So we can use that QC model here. And then of course you have got landed cost. So landing cost can be also calculated directly based on the miscellaneous costs and all that. Then we have got, you know, stock management, then warehouse, the complete warehouse with this all 64 level of this sub warehouses can be generated. And then you have got multiple units of measures. Item attributes are also one of the important part. Normally, a standard ERP system does not contain the specific item attributes. There is just you know, the coloring systems are available, but here we have got this custom item attribute also. So we can attach item attribute. If we have got the specific brand setting, then we can have the brand settings also for particular item. Because if you see then into construction, and I'm leaving out the construction. If you see the FMCG products, whereas we have got the consumer item or consumer goods, or you take the healthcare products like medicine and all that, one particular item can be from multiple different brands, that if we want to maintain, we can maintain that. Then we have got item variants, we have got item management, so that we can do the item variants also. Standard reports are there, and we will be maintaining all these reports as per the customer's requirement. Very important thing I want to just catch up here, that this webinar is not going to be completed of course in a day or even in 2, because the real fact is that actually if we want to showcase the entire feature, because right now we have got the HR management, this HR system itself will take another 1 hour, because you have got HR and payroll all together. We have got the payroll and HR, the complete HR management, including appraisal, training, employee loan management and all that. And manufacturing is going to be one of the biggest module. So in this way, what we will be doing, that we will be slowly defining this particular webinar into multiple days. So every day 1 hour or 1.5 hour session will be okay for all the people. And then one more thing, that the entire recorded session will be uploaded online also, so that you will not have any problem if somehow someday some of you are going to miss or skip the session. No problem, we will be again, you can again go back and review it online, or of course we can recap that. There is no problem. So if you people are available and if you people have time, then I can try to catch up at least one more module, or if you want, then we can split it to tomorrow, because 1 hour session every day is more than enough. Of course, after an hour we start losing interest. All of us, we know that.
Okay, so I think
Emmett.
yeah, tell me.
Yeah, can questions be asked?
Yeah. From beginning, I am telling that continue to ask question. So let's have 5 to 10 minutes of the Q&A session.
This session is all.
Amanat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Andy. I'm following the whole conversation from beginning to the end. There are some other issues that I want to pick up and
Please.
see whether they exist in your system.
Please.
The first thing I will have to talk about is the purchasing, the purchasing side.
Okay.
Now, do you have, does the system has the ability to create intercompany purchase order between two companies?
Yeah, of course, it has.
Okay, now, if it has, this is the kind of intercompany purchase order I'm asking. I'm saying this for the International Financial Reporting concept.
IFRS. You are talking from the IFRS concept.
Yeah, okay. Now, what I want to find out is that, assuming there are two companies, okay, I want you to confirm for me whether that is how it's working in your system. Assuming two companies, and one company is the buying company for the other. Okay?
Yes.
So company A buys the item and now want to transfer the item from his company to the other company. At the same time, company B can also buy the items and send some of the items to company A, depending on their strategic placed business orientation. In other words, company A may be dealing only pharmaceuticals, maybe manufacturing pharmaceuticals. Company B, maybe let's say a main hospital delivering the services. Now, at one point, company B buys the items and want to send it over to company A. Now, is that possible for the quantity of the items and the price be transferred from one company to the other company when they are sitting on the same database?
No, I believe that I need to recap the entire scenario, and I have to tell you a couple of, IFRS standard. Point number 1.
Yeah.
There is no transfer between intercompany. First of all, let's make this point very much clear. Two companies, and company means legal entity having a unique registration number. Maybe the business owner can be the one, but for an example, Routeget Technology Private Limited is one company which is taking care or which deals with information technology, and the same company has got one more company which is Routeget non-profit, which deals with another type of services or whatever. But these two companies have got two separate registration numbers, two separate identity.
Yeah, right? That's what I want to know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So in the case of two separate legal entity, there is no concept of stock or any fund transfer. There is only
Amanat, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm not using the word transfer in the sense of transfer of items. I'm using situation where, because it's a very practical situation, which is very common practice. There are parent companies and subsidiaries.
Right.
Now, the parent company may have the purchasing power to buy the items and send them over to the subsidiary.
Correct.
Now, these two companies are legal entities sitting on one
software.
Like your application, you have two companies sitting on one database.
It is multi legal entity. It is multiple company, multi legal entity setup. Right?
Multiple legal entities, no problem.
Yes.
When I buy the goods, that's what I'm saying. When I buy the goods in my company A, okay, and because it is one corporate policy, or maybe the accounting policy governing the two, they have similar inventory structure, they have similar accounting structure, they have similar business practice.
Correct.
In other words, that is what I'm saying. In other words, when company A buys the item, is it possible to send those items automatically to company B to receive the item?
Yes, automatic sending can be done, but In this case, automatic invoice will also be generated. That's the only thing I wanted to tell.
Yes, and at the same time, when it comes to automatic invoice generation, this is the part I want to find out again. Now, because the receiving company, okay, I'm saying this because these are most of the cases we encounter, particularly in our part of the world here.
Exactly.
Now, yeah, the receiving company, in many cases, because they are the ones taking delivery of the items, and this is a similar practice in the AS 2012. Now, because they are the receiving company, they may want to take the delivery of the items before the invoicing is done. So it's an option.
Yes, of course.
Where there can be automatic invoicing, or the receiving company can acknowledge receipt of the items and then invoice as such.
Yes, of course. That is why you can see the customer group tree. I can show you. It is already available on this screen. All right. So what?
My second one is a follow up on it. Now, in terms of the cost transfer, okay, in terms of the cost transfer, I have not encountered much about your inventory system, even though you were taking us to, you couldn't finish. Does your inventory system uses the particular stock valuation method, or it uses a similar concept of the running average, which AS is using, until you run a process for the system to apply your inventory valuation? I'm asking this because of the price.
No, it supports weighted average, it supports FIFO.
Okay, so at what cost will the items be transferred to the other company?
On the landed cost, last purchase price.
Okay, now the other follow-up question is this: if I create intercompany purchase order in company A,
correct,
those items are not sale. I'm using the same IFRS concept of subsidiary and a company,
right?
A parent company where, right, yeah, you cannot sort yourself.
Yeah.
So if I create my intercompany purchase order, okay, in let's say company A, is it going to create another purchase order in company B?
No, because you are going to create a second company and subsidiary, so it will be transferred again and again. Subsidiary and the legal entity, both are two different things. As soon as you start using the word subsidiary, the concept will change. As soon as you start using the company, concept will change.
No, I'm talking about the subsidiary can be a legal entity. So I'm using the subsidiary as a legal entity, whilst the parent is also a legal entity.
So as soon as it is a legal entity, definitely it will be a purchase order or sales order, transfer based on the sales.
Fantastic. So what I want to understand is that if the purchasing company, which is the legal entity A, let me put it that way,
correct,
buys the item, okay, then they will have to create the intercompany sales order in order to reduce their stock, because they are transferring the item or they are sending the items to the subsidiary. So then it will create intercompany purchase order in the subsidiary to receive the item.
Sir, it can help you by using just the workflow.
I don't have any problem with the workflow use.
No,
you see, what I'm talking about here, two separate entities, company A, company B.
Can I give you one small example?
Okay.
Okay. So the setup is something like that. That Routeget Technology Private Limited has got the purchasing power. It purchases centrally. All right.
Yeah.
And the subsidiary company, which is a separate legal entity, non-profit, it requires to consume the material. So we have.
I'm coming. They will consume through sale, or they will consume internally. So it could be any.
It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be anything. It's about they need a stock. Simple. They need a stock. All right.
Yes, that is where my interest is.
Yeah.
Dealing with the stock transfer.
Correct. So they need stock. So we have got the custom field inside our purchase, that for whom we are buying for. There is a buying for. So in that buying for, we fill up Routeget RTPL non-profit. Okay, this is a custom field. All right.
Yeah.
As soon
Yeah,
as
you are transferring as cost.
no, right now I am not transferring at all. Right now, what I am going to do, I am sitting in Routeget Technology head office on a central purchasing unit, and I know that I am buying 10 laptops, which is not for us, it is for non-profit, second company.
Yeah.
What I do, I create a purchase order. That purchase order, first of all, we can have intercompany purchase requisition. We can make the material request intercompany. So that problem is
Yes.
also not there. So we do intercompany material request. So system takes that this particular 10 laptops being purchased by company A for company B. All right. So as soon as we release the purchase order, okay, automatically at the same time, once we are doing the GRN, it creates a sales order for my company B, and company B
That's
also,
right.
and inside company B also, automated script creates on the same value of purchase order also.
That is correct.
And then once this item is shipped or transferred, whatever way you call it, using packing slip, at the time of GRN, it updates their inventory and stock. And then we have got a balance of payment. We have got the balance of payment. Okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. So I'm okay. So that functionality is there.
Yeah.
Okay. A follow up on that. Now, in terms of doing the packing slip update or the GRM, which will create the intercompany sales order.
Correct.
Okay, to reduce the buying company stock, and then in the receiving company it creates an intercompany purchase order so that they can also receive and update their stock.
No,
Can that also be done by?
It is not required to do that. It is not required to do that. Why it is not required to do that? It is by default happening, or it will happen. Let me explain you the scenario. I am a headquarter company, centrally purchasing. I purchased it. Now I am, as soon as I have received the material at the time of GRN, automatically sales order has been generated. Now on the basis of
let me follow up on it. I just want to follow you. That sales order is created in the purchasing company.
Yes.
That is because that purchasing company, at the point of doing the GRN, the system receives an issue out.
Yes.
So that quantity no longer stays in there.
Yes.
Now, in the receiving company, what would it create? Would it create purchase order?
It will create a sales order. Why purchase order? Oh no, receiving order or receiving company you are saying, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the receiving company. That should be a purchase order.
It will create purchase order.
That's all. That is all that I wanted to understand.
Now, what the second question, follow-up question you have done it, as soon as the
second question is this.
Yeah.
The second question is this. Because sales order is created, okay?
Correct.
Because sales order is created, in terms of the accounting aspect, because these goods are not necessarily for sale, will the sales order require you to set up a revenue account when indeed this is just a cost transfer from company A to company B?
No need, but in 3 of the customers they have not done it. There is no separate revenue account to be added.
Okay, because I'm asking this because anytime you are dealing with sales order in its natural state, without involving this intercompany thing, it's like you are selling. So the system normally will ask for you to put the revenue account and the consumption account and all that.
Correct. Not required.
Okay. Now, my other question is this. Can intercompany purchase requisition or intercompany material request, if I'm to borrow your term, which you have on your system, can that be created as such? I'm asking this again because some companies,
once again repeat.
Now, what I'm saying is this. Now I'm done with the intercompany purchase order or the sales order. You've explained it to me properly. Now, the one I want to understand is this. Can the other company, which is the subsidiary,
right,
also create the same scenario as the purchasing company was creating? Because I have seen situations where it is not all the time the buying company sending the goods to the receiving company. There are times certain things the receiving company also has. They want to send it over to the buying company for consumption.
Exactly. So the setup has to be done in both the systems, means for both the company.
Okay.
The configuration has to be repeated in other company also.
Okay. Now the other question
the question, Andy, what you are asking, it is extremely, and it is a common scenario, means the most common scenario in India. Why it happen? Why it is common scenario? I'll tell you. Because what happens, every manufacturing company, they have set up separate small units. Okay. So so they give the raw material. That company manufactures the half item, which you call semi-finished goods. Okay.
Okay.
And then again that semi-finished goods is received and consumed for the final finished goods creation. So this is a very simple scenario.
Okay. So let me move on to the next question. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Now, my other question has to deal with the same intercompany. Now, this time around, inventory is not involved, just normal movement of cost, because the other company may have transferred, let's say, some employees to work for them or whatever. They want to transfer the cost to the other company.
Transfer of cost, what you're talking about, that has to be done
between two different, between two legal entities.
Yes, so
is that also available?
That has to be done only using service order.
No, I'm not talking about a purchase order. I'm talking about situation where the company.
You are talking about that I am using 2 employees of my subsidiary company inside my company for 15 days of contract work. Now that cost has to be transferred.
That's the point.
Yes. Now that has to be transferred, right?
Yes.
So you have
that one also there.
Exactly. You have to take it through a small project. Either it has to go through project or it has to go through service order.
Not always the purchase order. Let me give you this typical example, which companies I've seen have been practicing. Now, the parent legal entity, I'm using the system scenario again, 2 legal entities. Now, one is paying for the insurance of the other employees, because again, they have the purchasing power. Okay? And then company A has insured the, the subsidiaries company, which is also a legal entity.
Actually, sir, what I believe that you are referring to free text invoice, which it has.
Okay, so I don't know whether it's a free text invoice or whatever. I'm giving you a scenario which is a common practice again, where the company with its business unit, some may not even necessarily be, business, some may not necessarily be even big subsidiaries. They are very small subsidiaries, and the parent is the one paying a lot of things on their behalf, but they want to move that cost for purpose of preparing their financial statement to know that company A paid these things on your behalf. They will transfer those costs to your company. So not all would have to go through, because if it is an insurance, I do not need to go and create insurance as an item and then move that cost to the other company.
Okay.
Simple journal movement between 2 companies should also be possible.
So you are doing, so simply you said that you want to create a journal entry, right?
Yes, journal entry intercompany.
So intercompany journal is of course there.
Okay.
You have got the intercompany journal. Once we'll set up, so that's what. Once we will set up that, then we will have the intercompany journal also available.
No problem. It's because we couldn't go.
Come again.
All the features.
Come again. You see here.
I'm saying.
No, just wait a moment.
I've seen it.
So as soon as I will select, we'll have multiple company, right? We will have Routeget 1, Routeget 2, Routeget 3, Routeget software, Routeget service, Routeget hospitals. Correct?
Yeah.
So that journal entry we can do that here. That okay?
Okay, no problem. I'm asking all these questions because you couldn't take time to take us through every single. So some may be there, I don't know.
Sure.
I just want to be sure. We've got a lot of things.
Correct. So now, take an example that I am going to transfer this cost to some other company. So I can cost of goods sold or maybe expense included in valuation. Take this expense and I can make it how much debit, how much credit I want to do that. That I can do it directly from here. There is no problem, sir. It's available. Don't worry.
And is there any, if I may call it, analysis on that transaction? If I'm posting to, let's say, human resource department of the other company, would I be able to select that in the journal?
Right, exactly. It will be done.
Okay. Now my other question has to do with accruals.
Come again?
Okay. Accrual.
Okay.
I'm talking about accrual concepts.
Yeah, please.
Again. Yeah. Again, I'm asking this question in twofold. One has to do with revenue recognition, and one has to do with expense recognition. Now, the first one on the accrual has to do with expense. Some companies have policy that they pay for their management. It could be entertainment, it could be subscription of certain journals or whatever. Right. But because of their fiscal period may start from, let's say, January to December. Right. But the particular scheme which they are running for the managers runs from, let's say, June of that year.
Right.
So it will run into the ensuing year, which is the other fiscal year. So if they receive such a bill from the company and 6 months of that expense is relevant to that current fiscal year, the remaining 6 months expense relates to the previous, the ensuing fiscal year. That is the fiscal year to come. How is your system able to handle such an accrual concept in such a way that the expense which belongs to the ensuing year will be handled as a liability, not as a full expense at a time?
Exactly. So
I'm talking about an expenditure that goes beyond 1 year. How your system deals with it?
So each and every employee has got their own account, okay? And here you have got claims. Here you have got the claim management, okay? So inside the claim management, let me take you to that, what you are talking about. Basically, the fact is that if we try to understand and get these types of particular claims, which are not actually, relevant to the particular financial year, you cannot move from 1 year to another year. Because as soon as it is moved from one financial year to another financial year, it will be either an asset or it will be either or a liability. Okay, it can be only in liability or in assets, nothing else.
Yeah. So portion of it becomes expense in that current year, and portion becomes a liability in next the coming year.
Yes, that is the way it is going to happen. Automatic conversion.
Okay. So in terms of it mapping with your chart of accounts.
Yes.
In the setup of this very accrual, would your system posting account allow the portion that becomes a liability to sit in a liability account so that it doesn't become part of your expense, and then in the statement of financial position it comes under the current liability? Because that classification,
it automatically goes based on the duration period. Based on the duration, it automatically goes.
Okay. And again, how does your system handle deferred income, which goes beyond more than 50 years? This one, I'm using our company as an example. A company paid 50-year lease in advance.
Okay.
And if you look at the AX dynamics, it's a concept of handle deferred income. And even the accrual, it doesn't go beyond one fiscal year unless you open all the periods.
No. But the deferred income, I understood. Got the point. So we have got denoted GLs. What is the denoted GL feature is that accrual can continue up to unlimited period of time. There is no time limit set for that.
So subsequently they are released. By the way, whoever is dealing with that transaction will schedule the income recognition periods.
Correct. So it will not be restricted based on the fiscal year. Means if you leave that open, if you set it up, then it will go unlimitedly open till the time you want to leave it open.
So will the system schedule? Will they schedule per the period of that company's recognition of?
We can set up. We can set up if you want. We can set up. If you want, then we can provide an additional field that, okay, you want to make it for available for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years, whatever you want. We can set the limit.
So how would your system deal with the deferred income? Because that deferred income is a liability to the company until the service is rendered.
Yes.
So if they recognize the first fiscal year, once your system is able to schedule again, would it automatically classify the one in the future years?
It will reduce the cost. It will reduce the cost.
Okay.
Because take an example, the same example of lease itself. If we have taken a lease for 50 years, then every year there is a cost defined, right? It is divided into 50.
Yeah.
So that accrual will continue to reduce it.
No, this one I'm even talking about revenue. It is our company that leases the land. So
yes,
receiving as revenue.
Correct. So every year it will continue to reduce or increase, whatever way you want.
Okay. So it will be an automatic run sort of process.
Yes.
That will release and then the reminder goes in your current liabilities.
Yes, on financial year closing, on fiscal year closing.
Okay.
Part of a closing process.
Fiscal year closing is when your system will do the classification.
Come again?
I'm saying that at what point would that deferred income be classified as a liability on your financial statement?
Once you run the fiscal year closing process.
Okay. Okay. My next one. In terms of the procurement, the inventory, again, I'm taking you back small. In terms of the inventory, there are some companies that practice the just-in-time. Others buy certain administrative products and keep while the department requests to use it. Okay? Typical example could be stationery, calculators, it could be photocopier, spare parts and all. Some companies keep that stock.
Right.
Now, they use the normal procurement system to acquire the items and store them in their warehouse and prep the locations. If the user department want to make a request to use those items internally, how is your system designed to allow? And mostly they want something like workflow, where the user department, the requester, the one who wants the item for consumption within their department, will now make a request for the boss to approve before the person goes to the stores to pick the item.
Right. So
it's a common practice here.
So basically, you can see here, which is material request. Of course, user does not need to go, or an employee does not need to go to the material request form. Rather, it will be available on their employee self-service. Very importantly, now again, I believe that it is high time to recap the complete sales, or not sales, means item life cycle. The item life cycle starts with that when any user or any person requires the item. In what are the three different terminologies, or what are in the three different conditions a person or a company can require an item? One, if I want to sell, so to resell or to sell the item, I need to buy the item. There is one standard, understood. Second is inside a project or manufacturing. So I have a manufacturing requirement, I have a project requirement, so I need to have the item. And then the third, which is called internal consumption, that is what is called, that is what is understood as an administrative cost, right? Pen, paper, stationery, carbons, everything. So these are the administrative item requisition which employee does it. Now, whenever an employee will request a new material, what my system will do? My system will first of all send this request to its reporting manager for approval as per the workflow. Now, as soon as the reporting manager or the approving authority approves the item request, that okay, you issue 5 Bluetooth mouse to ND, then this request will go to the storekeeper. Storekeeper has got the responsibility. Now, as soon as this request has gone, which is actually an indent, we have to understand the difference between material requisition and the indent. So this is an indent because this is for administrative purpose. So as soon as the indent goes to my storekeeper, system will tell that where this material is available. if it is available in that storehouse, which is normally available on your next door where the storekeeper is sitting, or it is available in a next warehouse, maybe in a central warehouse in somewhere else. So what happens? Then storekeeper will forward this request to the main warehouse, from where they will do the stock transfer from this warehouse to the store warehouse, which is available inside the ground floor. And then the person or employee will come, receive. As soon as the delivery has happened, that means he has accepted the material, it will reduce the stock quantity. That's what it is.
So, so that facility is also there. That functionality is there.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Now, would that transaction be analyzed within the context of which department requested for the item?
This is the default report, sir. This is the default report. Which department?
Yeah, it's reports. So I'm asking of the analysis. I'm always interested in the analysis. So assuming the person requested from HR or the person requested from finance department, in the end, they will do breakdown analysis of each department consumption. So I'm asking that during the requisition stage, where the user is requesting, would your system copy the person default information from the HR straight into the transaction lines so that the person doesn't have to go and select?
Yes, sir. Check it. The breakdown analysis can be done based on branch, department, designation, type of employee, all four.
Okay.
Now what way HR or what way finance department wants to do the breakdown, they can do it. That how many managers they have done it, they have requested for a Bluetooth mouse, what was the total expenditure of my particular branch for the administrative cost. They can do the breakdown. They have to tell us what report you need. You will get it.
Okay. Now my other question has to do with this. Typical example, I'm using the very hospital when you came, we visited, a scenario which is there, and I've seen other companies also suffer the same problem. The question is this: the department who is requesting for the item is not immediately going to consume the item. So what happens is this: let's say the nursing department, or let's say the midwifery department requests for certain consumables. Okay? Now these consumables are transferred from, let's say, warehouse A to warehouse B, or let's say to the nursing department. Now it is at that point that the nurses are going to consume that item. I hope you are following what I'm saying.
Yes, please go ahead.
Now, so at that point, will the system during the transfer have reduced the warehouse item, the warehouse stock, and then update the new, what do you call it, a warehouse, which is at the nursing department, and then when the issue is done, then the consumption happens at that point?
You exactly are on the right track. However, the concept itself is entirely wrong. Why concept is entirely wrong? Because when what you are saying, that when nurses are asking that, okay, send me 50 syringes and send me some 100 paracetamol tablet in my nursing department. So very well it is to be understood that once we have done the proper study of the system and the proper study of the business, and basically there has to be a specific unique warehouse also to be defined, nursing home or nurses department warehouse. Okay.
Now I use that as an example.
Yes, I am giving you the exact example. So wherever you want to transfer the material, that warehouse has to be separately defined. Okay.
Yeah, that is correct. That's correct.
And then from main warehouse, the material, once the nurses are requesting, that request is not for the consumption. That request is only a stock transfer request. Okay.
Yeah.
So the stock transfer is initiated, and stock 50 syringes and 200 tablets will be transferred from main warehouse, that means main pharmacy store or godown, to the nursing floor, which is available on second floor or maybe fifth floor of the nursing department. Okay, and when that time, once the nurses will be consuming it, actually they will be consuming it, that time only stock will be reduced. So what happens, be the stock is available in main warehouse or the stock is available in the nursing warehouse or nursing floor, company stock value remains same. It does not change until it is not actually consumed.
Okay, now the next one is to look at tax. I'm talking about sales tax.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Every company and their system of taxation. Okay. I've seen a letter about the Indian tax system. I've read a letter about the American tax system, Ghana, and other countries. Now, one common thing you normally see is how withholding tax is calculated on tax of tax. There is an example. Assuming that some companies, or let's say virtually almost every country, will do their withholding net of the sales tax. Now, there are situations where, particularly the current situation in our economy, is that the cost of the item is initially taxed at a particular rate before another tax is applied on that item. So you have tax on tax. Now, when it gets to the withholding tax, which we withhold on the side for the government, now we are looking at the cost of the item. So we want the net of the tax on tax.
Your answers, before you complete your question, your answer should be here, I believe, on this screen. Can you check?
Okay. Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
No. Is it clear now after looking on my screen? Tax on tax.
Yeah, I've seen type. I've seen account head on net total, on previous row amount, on previous row total.
So this is what it is on previous row amount. That means after calculation of tax, now put tax on that. Or on previous row total, totally calculated and then put tax on tax.
Okay. Okay, so an example.
I'll give you example myself. That there is an item price which is $100. Now on that there is a tax of 12%. Okay. So now what it says? First is actual. So wait. So there is a 12% tax, correct? So what it says that as per actual, that means it will calculate 12% of the tax. Okay. Now it will calculate on the net total. Net total, that means two items, then 200 into 12% tax. Okay. Now what I want to do, I have three different taxes. Most complex tax system is in India, so I'll tell you. That is why we are very good in tax, because we are the most advanced people who have been paying 72% tax. So don't worry about it. So we have paid first of all sales tax. Then on top of sales tax, sometimes we need to pay additional 5% VAT also. Okay.
Okay.
So now, so if I put on previous row amount, then what system will do? It will calculate first line 100 into 12%. Then second line it will calculate 100 into 5%. Okay. Okay. Now I have another scenario that after all that, on this 5% of the tax, or sorry, on this 12% of the service tax, sales tax, I need to pay 2% of cess, not on $100. I need to pay tax on tax. All right. Yeah. So if I put it, if I put it on the previous row total, then the tax is there. Correct. Yes, correct. So accordingly it will calculate. So your question is automatically answered here. We have that setup. Because I told you now, we are the most complex country in terms of tax. We always have a tax reform issues. No, in fact, when I was looking at that in the AX, I had to go and change my address. I am telling you, sir, Dynamics AX is the best one, but I can tell you Radius ERP is superior.
Yeah, I'm only seconding what you are saying, that for me to understand the complex in
Correct.
to get the India tax system.
All these
Fidel,
kinds
Fidel,
of
Now,
if you have any question, you can also pop in. Okay.
now let's continue.
Yeah,
On the
for
issue
me,
of-
okay, let him finish. I'm enjoying the questions. Yeah.
Okay. Ahmad, on the issue of consolidation for more than one legal entity,
yes.
is that also possible?
If you have multiple legal entities, then of course consolidation, headquarter level consolidation is there. Yes.
Now, there is one fundamental difficulty when it comes to consolidation from other systems that I've seen. And if you look at your standard of reporting, I'm sure you adopted IFRS reporting as such.
Tell me, sir.
Now, how are the notes to the account during consolidation? Is it also consolidated as such? And how are the notes set in the system?
Wait, let me tell you first of all. We always have to create one separate consolidated company first. Okay?
Yeah, that is okay.
Once you create the consolidation company, then separately IFRS standard chart of account also will have to be defined there. Okay?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And inside the chart of account, inside the GL, every company GL will have to be manually mapped, at least for first time.
What about if the same account shared? If the account is shared, you still have to map.
Even then you have to map. Sir. Every time you have
No,
to.
I'm saying that if it is more than one legal entity, can't you share the accounts? Because assuming they are using the same account.
No. We share this account, but in consolidation company, it is always the best policy as per my past IFRS experiences in consolidation. The best policy is manually you need to map, because understand this, even if we say that we are going to have the same sets of chart of account, none of the company will have an identical chart of account, because every company later on will be requiring to add additional GLs and all that. So at the time of consolidation, the major problem will come up with the accruals. You know what happens? First of all, if our chart of account is so much deliberated that each and every customer balances are going into one COGS, one MUGS, one MIPS, one FPSS, if it is going separately, that means we have made our chart of account such a way dynamic, then we can simply share all those specific chart of accounts and we can consolidate it. But the problem is that if once you start putting that level of deliberated chart of account, only US people can handle that. Other country people, they start shouting, what you have given me, garbage, I have thousands of chart of account CGLs, I really am worried, just you simply remove or make it more simple for me. So there you don't have other choice.
No problem. What intercompany balances during consolidation?
Yeah, intercompany balances can be managed.
Okay, so that elimination is also possible.
Yes, sir.
Now, in terms of preparing the financial statement, I'm looking at account.
One thing, my heartiest apologies. Can we wind up today by after next 4 or 5 minutes? I have another scheduled call already.
No problem.
And then we will continue from.
Okay, I'm there's Fred here.
Yes, Fred.
Let's Fidel ask one more question so that we can wind up.
Sure. No. What I'm saying, I'm not talking about wind up. Sorry, my word is wrong. I should not use actually the word wind up. I should use the word pause. We can pause for today. I have another call scheduled, that's why.